Traffic is driving me nuts. I'm going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging. That is what Elon Musk said. And that's how the Boring Company started, with a tweet on Twitter. What a bore. Before we start, make sure to subscribe, and if you want to read more about technological subjects, hit that bell button to receive our latest notifications. The Boring Company creates safe, fast-to-dig, and low-cost transportation utility and freight tunnels. Its mission is solve traffic, enable rapid point-to-point transportation, and transform cities. The Boring Company, also known as TBC, is an American infrastructure and tunnel construction services company, founded by Elon Musk. Its current and proposed projects are designed for loop intracity transit systems, although the company has stated that the Hawthorne test tunnel can support Hyperloop R&D and that current tunnels are being built so they could support eventual transition to Hyperloop-based transportation on longer intercity routes. Elon Musk announced the existence of the Boring Company in December 2016. By February 2017, the company had begun digging a 30-foot wide, 50-foot long, and 15-foot deep testing trench on the premises of SpaceX's offices in Hawthorne, since construction on its site would not require any permits. When told by employees on a Friday afternoon that it would take at least 2 weeks to move staff cars in the parking lot and start digging the first hole with the TBC tunneling machine, Musk said, "Let's get started today and see what's the biggest hole we can dig between now and Sunday afternoon, running 24 hours a day." Later that day, the cars were gone and there was a hole in the ground. The Boring Company was initially formed as a subsidiary of SpaceX before becoming an independent company. In an interview during a TED conference, Musk estimated that the Boring Company project had taken 2 to 3% of his time, making this venture a personal hobby. In March 2017, Musk announced that sometime in April, the company would start using a tunnel boring machine to begin digging a usable tunnel at SpaceX. At the end of April 2017, a TBM was seen at SpaceX with the Boring Company's name on the side. The name of the TBM was revealed as a Godot, named after the Beckett play Waiting for Godot. Future TBMs will also be named after poems and plays. Musk says the first route created will run from Lax to Culver City, then to Santa Monica, and end in Westwood. Musk claims the tunnel trip will take 5 minutes, compared to above-ground driving, which takes 45 minutes in normal traffic from Lax to Westwood. These trips were planned to be implemented by placing a car on an electric sled and traveling at 120 miles per hour through tunnels. By November 2017, the company had filed a permitting application with Los Angeles government regulators to build a tunnel from Hawthorne along Interstate 405 to Westwood. At the same time as the Los Angeles tunnel system was announced, a different project involving a Hyperloop running underground from New York City to Washington, D.C. was announced. Musk claimed it would take 29 minutes to travel from one city center to the other. Other Hyperloop projects include one from San Francisco to Los Angeles and another inside Texas, which were being considered for a later phase. In July 2017, Musk uploaded a video depicting a successful test of a prototype car elevator. In October, Musk revealed the second TBM is named Line Storm, named after the Robert Frost poem A Line Storm Song. After that, in March 2018, Elon Musk announced that the company would readjust its plan to prioritize pedestrians and cyclists over cars. Cars would only be considered for transport after all other personalized mass transit needs were met. In early 2018, the Boring Company was spun off from SpaceX and into a separate corporate entity. Somewhat less than 10% of equity was given to early employees and over 90% to Elon Musk. Subsequent concerns by SpaceX shareholders resulted in a December 2018 reallocation of 6% of the Boring Company's equity to SpaceX. TBC provided an update on the state of their technology and product line in December 2018, when they opened to the public their first 1-mile-long test tunnel in Hawthorne, California. In July 2019, the Boring Company authorized the first external investment, selling $120 million in stock to a number of venture capital firms. after raising $113 million in non-outside capital during 2018. By November 2019, Steve Davis had become the president of the Boring Company, after leading Boring efforts for Musk since 2016. Davis was one of the earliest hires at SpaceX in 2003 and has twin master degrees in particle physics and aerospace engineering. He began work on a PhD in economics from George Mason University while he was running the SpaceX Washington, D.C. office. He wrote his 2010 dissertation on US currency debasement and opened a bar that became one of the first restaurants in Washington to accept Bitcoin. In November 2020, the Boring Company announced hiring for a number of positions in Austin, Texas, and by December had leased 2 buildings in a 14-acre industrial complex northeast of Austin, approximately 26 kilometers north of where Tesla is building its Texas Gigafactory. According to Musk, the company's goal is to enhance tunneling speed enough such that establishing a tunnel network is financially feasible. At full capacity, the Boring Company's convention center loop can transport 4,400 people per hour in its 62-vehicle fleet. The company states that future boring operations will implement a contemporaneous operation of boring and tunnel reinforcement to reduce the cost of tunneling operations. In addition, the reduction of tunnel size, reusing soil materials for tunnel construction, and further technological improvements. According to Tesla, Inc. and SpaceX board member Steve Jurvetson, tunnels specifically built for electric vehicles have reduced size and complexity, and thus decreased cost. The insight I think that's so powerful is that if you only envision electric vehicles in your tunnels, you don't need to do the air handling for all carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, basically pollutants in exhaust. You could have scrubbers and a variety of simpler things that make everything collapse to a smaller tunnel size, which dramatically lowers the cost. The whole concept of what you do with tunnels changes. Musk also hinted at the possibility that the underground infrastructure technology might be used for his project of creating a self-sustaining human colony on Mars. And then, along the way, building underground habitats where you could get radiation shielded. You could build an entire city underground if you wanted to. In addition to specific projects that the Boring Company is working on, a number of inquiries and very early discussions have been held with Boring Company and regional or municipal officials. San Jose. In February 2019, San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo announced that he had held talks with the Boring Company regarding a link between San Jose International Airport and the Redon Station, as an alternative to a traditional rail link that had been quoted at $800 million. San Jose has released 2 requests for information, one for the airport Redon Station route and another that would run along the Stevens Creek Corridor, a busy thoroughfare that connects downtown to Cupertino, about a dozen miles west. Miami. In February 2021, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez revealed that Musk had proposed to dig a 2-mile tunnel under the Miami River for $30 million within a 6-month timescale, compared with $1 billion over 4 years estimated by the local transit authority. China. In August 2019, Musk announced that he would be launching the Boring Company China during a trip at the end of the month. Australia. In January 2019, Musk responded to a query from an Australian MP regarding a tunnel through the Blue Mountains to the west of Sydney, suggesting costs of $24 million or $750 million for the 31-mile tunnel, plus $50 million per station. Europe. In January 2019, Musk stated that he had been asked by the director of CERN about construction of the tunnels for its 62-mile circumference Future Circle Collider, and that the Boring Company could save CERN several billion euros. Some people after using it were disappointed by the slowness and banality of the experience. I mean, it is called Boring Company. What did you expect? Some people said Elon Musk's futuristic $55 million Las Vegas public transit loop is planned as a creepy Disney ride, and just the humans driving through a tunnel at 35 miles per hour, as it's finally unveiled, and there is no sign of the 155 mile per hour driverless Teslas. This sums it up and brings us to the end of today's video. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, take care, and see you in the next video.